where you think
25.
he could win this title, and he perhaps should have beaten Gary Anderson
25.
when he first made a PDC final last year. But it was another Welshman who did for him earlier this year, the Welsh number 1, Gerwyn Price. Now he gets a crack at the Welsh number 2, and our camera's going to have to do some
25.
work, moving between the Ferret and the German Giant.
First job to
25.
settle up who will throw first in the final. Here is the bull, the way they always go before these matches, before any matches
25.
usually happened in the practice room. But it's been
25.
first to 6 up until the semi-finals, and then both players had convincing wins in the semis. Clemens going up against Titus Kanik, who'd never even made it to the last 16 before his brilliant
25.
run today. His experience showed in that one. The question is, will Clayton's experience perhaps show in this? He's won the bull battle and will throw first, and it's game on. We will have a new winner on the 2019 Roll of Honour at least, but will we have a new winner of a PDC title in Gabriel Clemens today?
100.
Well, they've had their battles and scraps to get to this stage, certainly. 2 last leg deciders for Gabriel.
140.
Jan Decker and Joe Cullen pushing him to an 11th leg. And the Mervyn King game, we had that on the other streaming board. It was incredible. Mervyn was averaging 108 for most of that game, and
100.
one little breaker throw in the crucial 9th leg proved to be the killer blow. Gabriel averaged 103.5 in that game. That's his best performance of the day.
134.
It has been a strange old day. All the top players seem to tumble out of the tournament early on.
125.
James Wade, the winner yesterday, beaten in round 1. Peter Wright for the 2nd consecutive day, going out in the first round. Rob Cross leaving the tournament before it even started.
57.
Yeah, Mensur Silovic, another one who went out in round 1 both days this weekend.
Clemens has left himself a finish.
60.
He will have to go for it. Another one in there. Now the bull.
145.
So the German Giant threatening the Ferret's throw. But now Clayton looks at tops.
Game shot.
And that's the way to hit back. 116 out to take the first leg.
Not bad start to this, is it? Bull miss for a 170 and a 12 dart break, and then 116 check out
60.
to hold in 15.
Yeah, just tell us a few of the highlights of the day, Dan, because a bull miss on the 170 is something that hasn't escaped my attention in one of the matches you had on your stream.
That was the Barney
60.
Bunting game. Barney and Bunting historically always produce incredible games. Usually they're incredible and high quality.
Best of the best.
Yeah. But this was
58.
incredible and, to be honest, appalling quality for the first 6 legs or so. And then Bunting came roaring back from 4-0 down, got a dart at the ball as well, got 170 to win the
100.
game, went 60. His other dart, his second dart is hanging in the board, and he decides to wander off, go and have a drink, a little stroll around before coming back and narrowly missing the bull. It was ridiculous, and then Barney went out
60.
on 60.
Not the first time that Bunting has turned on the waterworks with Raymond van Barneveld. But Jonny Clayton doing a
180.
fine job here in the early exchanges. This pair have met in 3 previous ranking matches, and Clayton has won a lot of them.
Yeah, convincingly
57.
on the stage, hasn't he? 2 Euro Tour wins. But it was closer when they met in one of these floor tournaments.
97.
However, 3 wins out of 3 for the Ferret. And he's world number 14, Jonny Clayton. Van Gerwen rates him. Van Gerwen really
147.
thinks that he is one of the most dangerous players around.
Well, he's one of the players that has shown he can beat the world number 1.
Game shot.
Taking a 2-0 lead in this final. Yeah, beat him at the Grand Slam, didn't it, in the group stage?
And had another good go at him in the quarter-final stages. And it's quarter-finals with Van Gerwen, where Jonny Clayton, one of them is going to go and average 110, because that's happened the last 3 times they've played each other in quarter-finals on the Pro Tour.
It was MVG that beat Clayton at the Players' Championship finals. It's one of 4 finals in the PDC that Jonny Clayton had played in before this
140.
one. He's won half of them. It's a decent return.
Yeah, Gabriel looking to win his first at a third attempt.
140.
But Jonny Clayton really does look in the mood.
He's on the charge. You mentioned his ranking. He's on the charge towards the top 10, surely. If he carries on
60.
this level of results, the kind of results he's been getting, I'm not going to say the level of consistency because that's not Jonny Clayton's forte, is it? But he manages to spring up
177
in the tournaments and have these deep runs to the quarters, semis very, very often. And the first half of this year, he's not got that much to defend.
134.
Well, come pick that up in a moment. Go for the ball, Johnny. Whitlock tried that earlier. Ball for a 10-darter.
When you said tried it, I assume he wasn't successful in his
he
attempt.
didn't.
34.
Well, Clements could have a dart at the ball for a 12-darter. 57 next. And he does get that opportunity.
120.
Well, Jonny Clayton will be quite happy if Gabriel Clemens is limited in this final to only shots at the bullseye at the end of 167s and 170s, because that's all he's getting at the minute. He is getting close to them, but that's all he's getting.
But this is a very, very high-quality final so far. Jonny Clayton averaging 105 after winning the first 3 legs.
43.
Clements over a ton as well, although he won't be after that visit.
Well, the thing with Jonny Clayton that you've got to remember as well, he's world number 14 at the minute.
85.
And yes, he's still sitting on a run to the final of the Players' Championship finals, which will come off his ranking at the end of this year. But he's not done anything
96.
really at the World Championship, at the World Match Play. He's only made the second round of the European Championship. Like, there are an awful lot of opportunities in big TV tournaments. The World Grand Prix he's only done first round. He's going to be going to these tournaments with nothing to defend from 2 years ago, and with a real chance of going on and making quarters, semis, finals, winning them. He's that good.
Well, look, we've seen him get to the final at the Players' Championship finals, and you mentioned his match against Ian White, who has had this run of hitting a brick wall in quarter-finals. But White, he's a consistent player and has a certain level that he doesn't seem to go above, and he doesn't go very 94. Far below it either. Clayton can turn up and put in the 110s, can't he? And if he can do that on the big stage, could win a very, very big title.
I see no reason why Jonny Clayton cannot
41.
replicate the stuff he does on the floor and the Euro Tour course. He's done it on the Euro Tour. He's made a final and won there against Gerwyn Price.
Yeah, that's when he won the green jacket, wasn't it? And
yeah.
Just imagine Gabriel Clemens had won
80.
that title, for example. Did they have spares?
They did have different ones.
It was a good fit for Jonny Clayton.
81.
And Gabriel Clemens needs to find a good fit pretty soon in this match. Double 16 would do very nicely. And there it is to get himself into the contest.
Oh, 120.
Well, hit a flight, hit the wire, then hit the floor. It would have been, had it stuck in, a 22nd 180 of the day. He's been hitting a lot of them today. Gabriel Clemens has had 21 himself. By the end of this final, these two could have hit 50 maximums over the course of the day, which is some going.
58.
This is one. Of course it is, Gabriel Clemens. Does have that sort of knack, Gabriel Clemens, in a sort of Simon Whitlock kind of way, that he's very good at grouping
46.
his darts together. Not quite as tightly as Whitlock. I've never seen anybody do it as tightly as him when he's playing well. But those sort of slender pointed darts, he's very good at cramming them all in the same bed.
45.
Well, that's now 22 apiece, and the next player on the maximum tally is Mervyn King on 17, so it just goes to show how far in front this pair are.
99.
The semi-finalists, Ian White had 14 and Titus Canick 10.
$60.
I mean, Titus Canick having that run to the semis is massive. Aaron Monk, who'd been playing good darts for a while, but has now backed it up with a real good run at a tournament and was not very far away from going further. Took something special to stop him.
Treble 17 for the bull, for something special here. Not
73.
for the first time, the bullseye is missed by a distance by Clements, and Clayton looking for
Game
a
shot.
4-1 lead, and that's exactly what he's got.
Well, the pattern is here. Clemens is not that far behind Clayton in each leg. But if he only gets a dart at the bull, it doesn't go. If it goes to the
100.
outer ring, he's all right. But Clayton is limiting him to just those shots at bullseye.
Tell you what, Gabriel Clements is not doing any harm to his chances of
60.
at some point joining Max Hopp in the World Cup of Darts, but how strong is that Welsh pair looking, the way they're both playing this year?
134.
Suddenly, that Polish team looks decent. The Spanish are playing some good darts. Cristo Reyes is coming back into form. The Philippines are going to be back in the tournament.
180.
And we've seen what Lawrence Ilagan can do. And Noel Malik Dem.
180.
Proper game of darts this now, isn't it?
Well, they're closing in on that bullseye of maximums between them.
121.
Is it going to be another dart at the bullseye? And this time, well, he's got two at double 18 instead. 11 darter.
Well, Gabriel Clemens averaging 101, Jonny Clayton 103, and you could see Clayton there when he nearly made it 3 consecutive maximums in that
84.
leg between the pair of them. There's a smile on his face. He's enjoying this. It's a good rhythm to the game. They've both been playing well today. They come into it after convincing wins in the
134.
semi-finals. And Clayton, look, he won a title last year. He won a title the year before.
57.
And in both instances, he's had 2 finals each year. So 2 last year, 2 the year before. And they were very close together. And so it suggests that if Jonny Clayton,
98.
and he has been threatening this year already, if he's in form, he can stay in form for a while. And if he does go and, whether he wins this title or not, you better look out
100.
for him next weekend here in Barnsley and on the European tours coming up.
Yeah, busy time in darts. It's a good time to be in form, that's for sure. A couple of European tours coming up, a couple more Pro Tour.
140.
Double headers coming up. Clayton had already reached 2 semi-finals on the Players' Championship Tour this year before finally converting one into this final.
180.
There's another. Third for Clayton.
Bullseye again. He can't keep missing it,
98.
can he?
But he can't even get on the green, Dan. Keeps finding himself in the rough.
$60.
That's just about the first time that Jonny Clayton's let him off.
Double 12. There we go. And the outer ring, once again, for Gabriel Clemens, helps him out. It is 4-3 in this game. But Gabriel Clemens, 3 of the legs he's lost, he's had a dart at bullseye at the end of a checkout. If the bull had been working, he could be absolutely coasting this final,
60.
despite the fact that Jonny Clayton's averaging 102.
Really is a high-quality contest, and contrasted with the semi-final,
100.
certainly the one that Clements was involved in. He really has gone with Jonny Clayton, upped his game as and when he's needed to.
180.
Oh, this is quality. Look, pay attention. If you haven't been seeing much of Gabriel Clemens, if you don't rate him, maybe you saw him at the World Championship take on John Henderson.
140.
A really good contest. It was close. Hendo managed to get the win. But Hendo himself has perhaps been playing the best darts of his career the last 2-3 years. If you don't know much about him, if you don't rate him,
91.
change. Because the German giant, 35-year-old from Saarbrücken in Germany, he's 57 in the world rankings. He is only going one way, and that is up. And he could go a long way up.
131.
He's had a dart at this already in the match. Not going to happen this time, and it might be Jonny
55.
Clayton's turn to have a go at the bullseye. It would rub perhaps a little bit of salt into Clemens' wound.
Double 5. Oh, just didn't
125.
quite give it enough. Clemens could have made this easier.
He's got a dart at double top.
95.
Clips the wire. The ferret loves double one, which is why he's gone for the 3, one above and one in, and that's why it's his favourite double one, Jonny Clayton.
And double 2 is his least favourite.
Yeah, it's a strange combination. I like sandwiches, but I don't like bread.
36.
Oh, it's the worst scoring visit we've seen in this final. You let him off that because it has been spellbinding stuff. And look, there's
100.
There's still some way to go in this. We've seen the German giant miss a dart for a third leg on the spin that would have levelled this up at 4-all. This is not
41.
Done and dusted. Other players might have crumbled. Players who have not won titles before, they might have gone 4-1 down here. The bloke's averaging over a ton. I'm going to struggle here. And the head has dropped in that situation. Not Gabriel Clemens. He's come back fighting.
Clemens is a man who changed his nickname. Was known as Gaga last year, wasn't he? But my favourite
140
aspect of Jonny Clayton's career is that just before the Austrian Darts Open last year, he was telling everyone, I need to get rid of this ferret nickname, I really don't like it, and then went and won the title and just accepted that he's stuck with it for the rest of his career.
Well, ITV
95
tried to do like a poll to change it, and then he told, no, you're right, I'll stick with ferret, thanks.
So everyone spoiled their ballot by just writing ferrets.
That's exactly,
100.
yeah.
Well, Clemens here is in with a shout of breaking the throw. More than a shout.
140.
That is a perfect setup shot.
$130.
One flaw in Jonny Clayton's game is his counting, and he admits that.
Game shot.
It doesn't matter in the end, and look, it wouldn't have mattered anyway. He'd come back with 2 darts at tops, but he's tried to hit treble 10 to leave double 17 there, which is obviously not what he wants.
He's trying not to leave double 2 with a 180, but decided that the double next to it would be acceptable.
Interestingly, these two are 2 of the guys on the tour who are still working full-time jobs, pretty much. Now, I think Jonny Clayton has managed to scale back some of his hours just because he's so in demand. There is so much darts on.
140.
But he has said that the dream is to quit the job as a plasterer, working for the local authority down in Ponteberem, so he can concentrate on the darts. Gabriel Clemens is a 24-hour locksmith.
60.
Again, I think working for his local council out in Germany. And he's managed to scale back some of his hours. But again, the dream is concentrate on the darts, and they don't have to do that. Now, for these guys to be doing what they're doing,
85.
Despite having, working as well, it's some going. And look at the final here; they're both averaging over 100. We've had some people
39.
will say, "Oh, you go and win these Pro Tour titles." Well, some of the big boys aren't there. Doesn't really count, does it? The performances these two have chucked in today, they could have beaten
140.
anybody with some of it. And this final is phenomenal.
Well, the 2 biggest cheerleaders of Jonny Clayton on the tour are Michael van Gerwen and Gary Anderson, so that says a lot
140.
about what the other pros think about him. What does he think about this? He's thinking double 8, and he takes it out, and that is a hammer blow to Clemens.
Clench of the fist from the ferret, and it's put him back in charge of this. But it's been swinging back and forth. We've only had 4 holds of throw, I think, in this final. We've had 5 breaks.
140.
But the 2 key finishers are the 2 ton-plus checkouts for Jonny Clayton. The one in the first leg when Clemens had missed a dart on the ball for the 170, and then a 136 to break straight back when Clemens was looking to tie up this final.
140.
You mentioned Gary Anderson being a big cheerleader of the ferret. He knows all about Gabriel as well, because it was Gary Anderson who survived championship darts from Gabriel Clemens when they met in Gabriel's first appearance in a final, and the Flying Scotsman admitted he should have won that.
Well, it's 3 finals in under a year for Gabriel Clemens. It is some going for a man who only
60.
won his tour card at the start of 2018.
Look, you've seen Jonny Clayton develop as a player
59.
on this series of events. When he won his first one, and within a month or so, he was in his first major final. You've seen him on the Euro Tour on PDC TV. And now you're seeing him
120
as one of the big boys in the game of darts, and he is really establishing himself. He's in the top 16. He's accidentally left himself that double 17, which he was purposefully trying to leave himself
82.
earlier. Does he go for it?
Well, with his opponent not on a finish, he's opted not to. Because he wants double 16 for a 7-4 lead, and Jonny Clayton is now one leg away from winning a third PDC title.
And importantly for Jonny, he is aware that he needs to win another leg, because in the semi-finals he got to 6 and thought he'd won. Went to congratulate Ian White and then realised he had to win another leg, which he duly did.
Well, you did say that counting was a problem.
134.
But you can count on Clayton to pick up a title every year, it seems.
Gabriel
100.
must be wondering what he has to do, because Gary Anderson, he got so close. Gerwyn Price was in incredible form. That was nobody was beating Gerwyn Price that day.
140.
But it is a two-time world champion, an all-time great who has beaten him in a final. Gerwyn Price playing the best darts he has ever played in his life.
55.
Has beaten him. And now Jonny Clayton, particularly that 136 checkout in the 10th leg, an absolutely huge blow. And he's not letting up, because he's left himself 50 after 9. The Ferret surely is going to make it 3 PDC titles.
Can he do it in style?
84.
An act of audacity on the dartboard. Well, he decides to go for double 16. He leaves it just.
34.
But he hasn't quite finished it off just yet.
Is there more to go in this final? Clemens has posed the question, but Clayton has had the answers for everything today so far.
PDC title number 3 for the Ferrets. Jonny Clayton takes the title here at Players' Championship 10, and it was a 5